So you just started Astroneer, and you want to know what to do next. Astroneer is a fantastic survival crafting game that takes place primarily, or all of it, in the far reaches of space on alien planets. When you first start a new match, you'll load in, and this will always be the case. You will always spawn on the planet Silva. It's the easiest planet. And when you spawn on Silva, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to complete this mission, Planetfall, right here. It's going to give you an oxygenator and a small printer. And throw it on the ground there. Now, something I didn't understand was you need to pick up this oxygenator. You can shift-click, and it'll automatically go to your backpack. And you need to put the oxygenator inside of your shelter. This will allow you to use tethers and things like that. Now that you've got that done, you're going to pull that out, and let's see what's next on the mission catalog. Connect printer to power shelter. Easy. You can connect that by grabbing any of these extenders and plugging it right into the item that you're trying to power. Now, my personal favorite thing to do to start off right away is to grab a tether and just drop it. You'll complete it, and you'll get a small canister and 500 bytes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, that's great. But what do I do first? This is it. This is the first thing you're going to want to do, and then you can branch off into a million different things. This world is truly open for whatever you are interested in it being. What I always recommend is just going along and completing the quests, because there's one specific quest that we're looking for. So right now, I have to fill a soil canister, which is easy. They gave you one. All you have to do is equip it, it'll go straight on your backpack, and then whenever you start mining stuff, it's going to start putting soil in that canister, as you can see right there on my backpack. It's filling up. You're just going to do this till it's full. Perfect. You're going to come back, and you're going to turn that in. See, these are all basic quests. Once you get these out of the way, gather compound and resin. Once you get these out of the way, you can get the quests that allow you to get pets. Just like that, we got our resin. Now we need to find some compound. Compound can be found pretty much anywhere. You'll almost always find some right where you land. For example, there's compound right here. And we got a clay deposit up there, which is amazing, because clay is an important resource that can sometimes be a little tricky to find. Just gonna farm out this compound. I can't speak. Perfect. We've got that done. And you can press T to automatically drop tethers, which will automatically connect to your ship, if you have a ship, or your shelter, as you can see there. It's also a good way to mark where you're going, so you don't lose it. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this in. Alright. Now, let's worry about printing up right now. So we need to print a medium printer, slot a medium printer into the platform. Okay. Let's put it right here. And then let's make a medium printer. Beautiful. Let's just take this and go ahead and put her on here. And now we've got a medium printer. So what I would go with next is definitely going to be for science and smelteringly hot. So let's just take this. We'll put this here. So for smelteringly hot, we need to unlock and print a smelting furnace. And then for science, we need to print and use a research chamber. So we'll pick that up once we're there. Alright, now that we've got a research chamber made, we're going to go ahead and slot it. It's going to require 4 slots. And then that's going to give us 4 science. What you're going to want to do now, you can research a ton of different things. But one of the easiest ones to find, especially on the first planet, is going to be these little rocks. You'll see them when you hover over them. They're called a research item. You'll find them laying around. We're going to pick that up. We can shift click and that'll automatically pull that into our arms. We're going to slot it right in there. And as you can see, it's going to start researching. It's going to give us a total of 448 bytes, which is the currency to unlock schematics in this game. And right now we're getting 23 bytes per minute. So after that, we're going to turn that in. Alright, take a byte. So we need to gain 2,000 more bytes, and we need to go sampling. So that's easy, but it's also busy work. So I'll go ahead and get that done, and then I'll come back here for the next step and what we need to race to get to. As you guys are exploring around, I just wanted to mention real quick, you can find these little research stations here. They're research aids. And you just need to power them up, the ones with the little lightning bolts. Some of them require a certain amount of power and then they'll pop. Others require you to just fill their battery up to a specific amount to unlock. If you open these up, these give you research items that are worth a ton of bytes. However, I will say, I highly recommend once you get one of these bytes, as you'll see here, you can research it by hovering over that. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend putting it in one of your research stations because it's going to give you way more bytes, and bytes are extremely important. As you're running around exploring the planet, you'll find these little things here called research samples. You'll have to scan those and they're going to give you a small amount of bytes. You can find them literally all over the place, and as you can see, that's one of the things we need to do our missions. And we also have a research item sitting right here that we can't scan right now because our research queue is full, but we're going to go ahead and take this back to base and we're going to drop it off because you want to make sure you are always researching for bytes in this game. No matter what, research, research, research. Things get expensive the farther you get. As you guys are exploring around, I just wanted to mention real quick, you can find these little research stations here. They're research aids. And you just need to power them up, the ones with the little lightning bolts. Some of them require a certain amount of power and then they'll pop. Others require you to just fill their battery up to a specific amount to unlock. If you open these up, these give you research items that are worth a ton of bytes. However, I will say, I highly recommend once you get one of these bytes, as you'll see here, you can research it by hovering over that. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend putting it in one of your research stations because it's going to give you way more bytes, and bytes are extremely important. While we're waiting for this researching to go away, just a quick tip on automation, and if you guys want, leave a comment below letting me know if you want an entire video focused on automation in this game, because it actually goes very, very in-depth. But while you're waiting for something to research on this large platform, you can put other objects as long as they're on this platform, not connected to, but on this platform, and then once this research station, as long as it's on, finishes researching one item, it'll automatically pull this item in and start researching it. That is a huge tip and huge for automation. Alright, we've completed Take a Bite, and here we go sampling. So we're going to go ahead and complete these real quick, get our free items. Now, one of the big things we want to do is Advanced Explorer Kit. And the reason for this is it's going to give us a QT RTG. So, let's go over some schematics. So, this is where you learn all of your stuff. Now, to get what we're looking for, we need to unlock dynamite, which is 3750. So let's see here, let me double check. So we need oxygen tank, power cells, glow sticks, and dynamite. Okay. So let's go ahead and go through and look for these. Alright, we need power cells. oxygen tank. Gonna need glow sticks now, which are right here. Alright. And then the next thing's gonna be dynamite. That's a little expensive, but we'll get to it. Alright. Now we're just gonna go out farming and collect some things. I'll catch up with you guys in a few minutes. Alright, now real quick, to get some of the most important resources on any planet, we're gonna have to go down, okay? We're gonna have to dig down into the caverns to get some of the more rare items and more useful items, including materials that you can find on the planet. The easiest way you can do this, there's little caves that lead underground littered all over the map. But for me, what I like to do is we're gonna find a spot that's flat and out in the open, and we're just gonna dig a diagonal hole straight down. And you're just going to keep following the hole. Now, I highly, highly recommend that you have your soil canister on your back while you do this, because there's going to come a point where you're going to have to build yourself a bridge down into the caverns. So me, I got kind of lucky, and I came straight down into it. But down in here, as you can see, this is sapphirite. Sapphirite, this is zinc material. You're going to need a lot of this, and you're going to need to smelt it to get zinc. And that's huge. But see what I mean? This is the quickest way, by far, to get down underneath the ground and create yourself a nice little area where you can start farming away and getting the hell out of these resources. Catch up with you guys in a few. Now, during your travels, you're going to come across one of these, or many of these, and to get the research item that's inside, you need to insert the appropriate resource. To do that, this one wants the meteorite. Okay, so we got some of that while we were in the cave. You can tell by hovering over it, it'll show you the image that it's associated with, and you just match up that image. You take one of those, you slot it in there, it'll eat it, yummy, boom. We're going to grab that research aid. Also, to pick up tethers, you just shift click and it puts them back in the tether portion of your backpack. Alright, so we've printed our our smelter. We're going to go ahead and put that on a large platform B. Once that opens up, what I recommend is turning this off when you're not using it at the start of a game, or at the start of your base. Now you can see a little bit of automation taking place here. As you put things here, they'll automatically move over to that. Now the smelter early game draws quite a bit of power, 5 units. So make sure you have enough. We're going to get to smelting, and then we're going to come back here in just a bit. But as things smelt, they're going to come right back down onto the platform, and it's going to continue smelting along as long as there is room on the platform. Here we are in our little cave. And as you'll recall earlier, when we did the Advanced Explorer Kit mission, we had to unlock the oxygen tanks. Now, the oxygen tanks early game are going to be your best friend. You need 1 glass to craft them, and to get glass, you just need to get quartz. And quartz looks like this, and it can be found in every cave on every single planet. So you're just going to farm a ton of quartz. Glass is a necessary component in a lot of different materials. Now that we've got a bunch of quartz, we're going to follow our tether line to get us right back up to our base, and we're going to start smelting it down. Now that we have our 2 glass from smelting the quartz, we're going to go into our backpack and go down here to our backpack printer. And we're going to scroll over until we find oxygen tank, and we're going to make 2 of them. Now you can make 1, you can make 3, you can make 5, but what this does is it'll fill up and it'll give you an entire new tank of oxygen, which increases the amount of time that you can be out exploring safely by triple, depending on the amount of oxygen tanks that you have. So just keep an eye on those, and there you go, there's oxygen tanks. But don't worry, because later on, we're going to go over some ways that you can have infinite oxygen, which is what we're rushing to right now. Now that we have our 2 glass from smelting the quartz, we're going to go into our backpack and go down here to our backpack printer. And we're going to scroll over until we find oxygen tank, and we're going to make 2 of them. Now you can make 1, you can make 3, you can make 5, but what this does is it'll fill up and it'll give you an entire new tank of oxygen, which increases the amount of time that you can be out exploring safely by triple, depending on the amount of oxygen tanks that you have. So just keep an eye on those, and there you go, there's oxygen tanks. But don't worry, because later on, we're going to go over some ways that you can have infinite oxygen, which is what we're rushing to right now. Well, guys, here it is. I shit you not, I have been looking for ammonium for an hour and 10 minutes. But we found it, and here it is. See how difficult this is to find? But we're going to grab as much of it as is here. And if we keep digging, we'll find more underneath. Now, the yield isn't very good. I highly recommend, after you get your first set of ammonium, to start getting ammonium through the soil centrifuge. That is a much easier way to get it. I'm gonna want more. I'm gonna get pretty much all that I can carry while I'm here because I don't want to have to look for this boy again. Alright. This should be good. Alright, and if you tap R, you can pull up your radar/compass, and then you can see where your stuff is. You can see I'm almost out of oxygen, too. Trying to get to my buggy. But yeah. There you guys go. That is how you get your rocket ship and all that stuff working. And in the next one, if you guys want a next one, we'll talk about how to get your own pet gastropods that can give you infinite fucking oxygen. Thank you guys so much for being here. I look forward to the next one, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Mwah.